Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're at the top of the hour, 12 o'clock. We got about maybe about 40 seconds before we get started. I want you to take the time and to make sure that you hit the follow button, that you are following us. Also, I would like you to tap the screen 10, 15 times. Let's get our likes up as we get started with this live. We got about 60 seconds before we get started. We want to be short, strong, and not too long, all right? So please make sure that you tap the screen. How you doing, Brother Joe with NWA Kennel Corsos? All right, so let me explain to you all what we are doing. Make sure that you tap the screen. Make sure that you share this live video. We are actually going to be doing a lecture series all week. Today is Monday. We're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll conclude Friday. We're going to absolutely dive into the process that we recommend when you go forward to select a puppy. We're starting it today. These videos are going to be some short clips, not going over 30 minutes. We're going to take them. If you miss the live, you'll always be able to go within 24 hours. You'll be able to go and pull that live from YouTube, actually. So if you happen to miss us tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday or even Friday, you can always go back to our YouTube channel and you could get those uploads. Also, you want to follow us on YouTube at Mizan K9 Kennel. That's MIZANK, the number 9 Kennel. All right, today we're talking about the Puppy Buyer's Guide. And one of the reasons why I think that this lecture series is important, because oftentimes we have clients that come to us for puppies, and what they usually do is they pay their deposit. They want to see a picture of the puppy. They don't care how young it is. They want to pick their puppy out at 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So if it's a Corso, they're going for a specific color, and they want that dog to be theirs. They do not understand the developmental process of the dog over weeks and how the development can change. The puppy that is the biggest puppy today may very well be the smallest puppy at 6 weeks old, okay? So you want to be mindful of that when you are rushing to pick your puppy out. I always tell people there's a process that you need to take to make sure that you are satisfied with your purchase. Let's talk about what that process looks like. Understanding the purpose, that's the first thing that you need to be able to do. You need to be able to define the purpose for you buying the puppy that you're going to buy. You're buying it as a puppy, but that puppy is going to grow over a 2 to 3 year period into a full-grown dog. So the first thing you want to do is understand what the purpose. Am I buying this puppy because I have children and I want them to have a pet? Am I buying it because I'm disabled? Am I buying it because I'm going to need the dog trained for personal protection because people coming in my yard stealing stuff? Or do I need it as a guard dog to guard my property? What am I buying this dog for? So the first thing you got to do before you consider anything else, you got to define purpose in your head. Why am I buying this dog? Once you decide why you're buying the dog, then you can move forward as to what type of dog you need, okay? That's going to meet your purpose. I need you all, please, make sure that you tap the screen. Tap the screen. Let's try to get our likes up. Tap the screen, and also please share for me, okay? We're going to be coming to you every day this week at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. So once we define what the purpose is, then we go to the dog breed. What dog breeds suits the purpose that I need, okay? I like big dogs. I'm a big dog man, so I specialize in the Rottweiler and also the Kennel Corso. My knowledge of both of these dogs is more extensive as it relates to the Rottweiler because I have been involved in conformation shows, working the dogs. I did a lot with the Rottweilers. I've known about them longer, and there is, to be honest with you, more information about the Rottweiler than it is the Kennel Corso. More accurate information, okay? So once you do that, you understand what breed you want. You want to look at the breed standard for the dog. Okay? That's going to give you size, what the size should be, minimum to max, what the weight should be, how tall the dog should be, what the weight should be, what the temperament is. It's going to give you a physical description of the dog. It's going to tell you what is considered minor faults and what are considered major faults in the dog. Okay? It's going to tell you something about the health needs in the care of the dog. What are these dogs? What are some of their recessive genetic health issues? Okay, and what can you live with? So each breed comes with its own unique characteristics, temperament, things that need to be done and for its caring for it, and then some of these dogs have some genetic issues that you need to know about before you do your purchase. Okay. And then what is the variations in the breed? There, in every breed, despite it having a breed standard, there are certain variations in the breed. Okay? We see this when we talk about, when we go to different kennels and we talk about different lines, which is how the dogs were bred over a period of time and what qualities or characteristics became more dominant in that, from that kennel or in that line. Let me give you an example of what I mean. In the Rottweiler world, you have, I'll give you a popular line, a couple popular lines that I have knowledge of. I have knowledge of the TK lines coming out of Serbia. A lot of my dogs here actually came from that kennel. Then you have Von Haus New Brand, which is Oliver New Brand's line that comes out of Germany. You also have the Timmertor line, which is known. It's not a line that I'm particularly crazy about, but they're known to have some things in them that are valuable, and they have some things in them that I do not like. Okay, so when we talk about variations, the breed standard allows for you to have certain dogs that are correct, but they're within the margin of what is correct. Okay, so let me give you an example. When we talk about weight and we talk about height, there's a minimum weight for a dog, male and female, and there's a maximum weight for a dog, male and female. Same thing about the height of the dog. What we call, when we talk about how big the dog is, we're not talking about how much the dog weighs in the professional world. We're talking about how tall the dog is. Because you can always put weight, depending on the height, you can always put weight or you can always take weight off of a dog. Okay? A dog that may be 125 pounds today may move better, have better movement if that dog take off 5 or 10 pounds. So there's a minimum weight and there's a max weight to every dog breed. And you find that in the FCI breed standard. So any dog that you consider getting and you want to know more about the dog, you're going to go into Google and you want to type in FCI, if it's a Rottweiler breed standard. If it's a Cane Corso, FCI Cane Corso breed standard. If it's a German Shepherd, you want to type in FCI German Shepherd breed standard. It's going to give you the breed standard that is most acceptable by the international community around the world. Okay? So that's what I always advise people. Go to that, read it, read as much as you can about the breed. There is some information on the internet, but I want to caution you, there is a lot of inaccurate information on the internet when it comes to these dogs. So you kind of got to go in with a critical thinking mind as you read what you're reading and do your research. Okay, some of you all have already did your research and you're ready to move forward to step 2. Let's go to step 2. So you got to identify a breeder that you want to get your dog from. You got to identify a kennel. What kennel is producing the type of dogs that you like that fit within your purpose and the breed standard for the breed. So once you got that, you find out which kennel you want. The question you want to ask is, can you actually visit that kennel? Okay. Me personally, I've been around for a long time. I would not buy a dog from a person if I could not visit their kennel. I want to be able to visit your kennel. I want to see how the dogs are raised. I want to see the condition of the dog. I want to see your facility because I'm getting a dog from you that I'm going to have from anywhere from 10 to 15 years. And I need to know that I'm making the right decision. I need all the information that I can get as I move forward to pay my money to take this dog home to my family. I need all of the information I can get. I don't want to make a mistake and buy the wrong puppy from the wrong person. So I'm advising people to do their homework. Okay. We have a few litters that are coming. It's going to be dropping here in November. And we give our potential clients access to all the information, multiple pictures, multiple videos, pedigree. We have, let me show you. We have documentation on all of our dogs. There's a AKC registration certificate. There's a pedigree. We have some critiques in here from judges from around the world that have looked at our dogs and said X, Y, Z about our dogs. We have critiques. Okay. We have some health test results. Okay, which we're going to talk about in a minute. This is an eye exam where they examine the dog eyes. Okay. So when you visit that kennel, you're able to see the parents. You're able to ask questions. Are they evaluating the litters that they have? And if they're evaluating the litters, are they just giving a general evaluation of the litter itself? Or do they have the puppies with the collar that's color-coded and they're able to give you a profile on that specific puppy? Okay? Because every puppy in the litter is not the same. We're going to talk about that later on this week. I don't want to go too deep on that. But one of the challenges that people have is they go out and they get puppies from these kennels that have produced some nice dogs. And they're expecting to get what these kennels have put up as an example of what they have produced some nice dogs. And they're expecting to get what these kennels have put up as an example of what they have produced some nice dogs. And they're expecting to get what these kennels have put up as an example of what they that is because that breeder is only taking a specimen of what he has created to show them. They're not looking at the whole litter. You got a whole litter to pick from. You got 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 puppies. And you got to make the decision which one of these 10 puppies is a puppy for you to take home. And I'll tell you, point blank, 90% of the kennels are not producing puppies that are so consistent that you could just say in a minute more and pick a puppy and it'd be the right puppy. So that's the whole purpose for this lecture series. So you get a chance to see the puppies and you get a chance to ask about the evaluation of the litter and the individual puppies. Now, it's important that you see the parents. Why? Because when you look at the parents, you're getting an idea of what's going to be produced in the offspring. Okay? I said you're getting an idea. Because I've seen dogs that are put together that are mediocre dogs, and I've seen them produce some very nice puppies. And on the other hand, I've seen some very nice dogs in terms of conformation be bred together and produce some garbage. So yes, you want to see what the parents look like, but remember we talked about up here, you need to examine the pedigree. Why is the pedigree important? Because when I go to my pedigree, if I talk about some of the females that I imported to the United States to our kennel here, and somebody asked me, so what would be the best litter that you imported, the best puppies that you have? And I would have to say that the breeding between multi-champion TK Bad Boy and Cleo, who was the daughter of the champion Eminem von Haus Edelstein, was probably the best litter. Okay, those puppies in that litter were very, very consistent. They some of them participated in the show, did really well. Particularly Venom, von Haus Timo out of Cersei, who is now a champion, a junior champion. He's only 13 months. He has already racked up the points he needed to be champion. Okay, very nice dog, really good temperament. He even stopped the guy from committing suicide. Maybe I'll go into that later on this week about how he did that. But very good dog. Mia, who is owned by Aaron Hamilton, is a female. Her first show, she went up against 12 other dogs. She came in second place. He periodically sends me pictures and videos of her. She is doing very well, has developed very, very nicely. But one of the significance of that pedigree is that is a line breeding, and there's some really nice, correct dogs in that pedigree that have titles. Okay? And when we say titles, why are the titles important? When we look at the parents, we look at the grandparents, we want to know, do the parents or the grandparents have titles in their titles behind them? Why is that important? Because the titles is certain things you have to do to get those titles. You have to meet certain qualifications. And we want to make sure that we're producing dogs that have the ability to meet the qualifications and overcome the evaluations and all the tests that need to be done to say that this dog is a proven dog. That's the difference between a professional kennel and a kennel that's just hyping dogs up by pictures and videos. Is you're going to see some titles in their pedigree. There are primarily two titles you look at. There are titles for showing, which basically deals with the confirmation of the breed. And then also working titles. Okay, what has the dog achieved? Looking in that pedigree, what has been achieved in terms of the ability of the dog to work? And we're dealing with herding breeds, or you're dealing with dogs that have traditionally been used to herd and do person protection work, guard livestock and stuff like that. You want to see working titles. Okay, you want to see that these dogs have achieved something. If the dog does not have working titles, then you can look the owner who has the pedigree of the parents. They should be able to show you some videos of the dog working, some videos of the dog interacting with people. Okay, you can get a lot from just seeing videos. That's why certain kennels, they want to have what is called demo dogs. These are dogs that represent the kennel that can do all of the amazing stuff, and they put these dogs out as an example of what their kennel has achieved. Okay. You want to look at price, and you want to consider pricing. What I see in the market today is I see some people that are paying way over the market value for puppies that they just don't fit the bill. And let me give you an example. Yesterday, there was a guy on Facebook, and he was talking about a dog that he paid money to breed to. And the dog did not produce anything. But come to find out, the dog was from a popular kennel, but he had never produced a litter. He was being advertised as a stud dog. And come to find out, he was sterile. His sperm was no good. Okay. The guy told what he paid for the stud service. And the people went in to come in and they said, why would you pay that type of stud feet for this dog. The dog doesn't even look like shit. His face is flat. He does not meet the description of the breed. Why would you pay that? And he couldn't explain. Okay? So when people don't know, it's easy for them to be taken advantage of. You have a lot of kennels that are selling puppies, but they're not doing any education around the puppies. They're just doing what they got to do to make a dollar. Okay? We pride ourselves with not only offering extended resources in terms of support when we sell a puppy, but we pride ourselves as a kennel that's willing to give accurate information about these dogs. Okay? We're going to give you some accurate information. We're going to give you the proper education so that you can make a decision and make a decision not in the blind. Okay? So puppy pricing is important. You don't want to pay $3,000 for a dog that you can go somewhere and get for $1,000. That's $2,000 you just wasted. You don't want to be in a mindset that think that you can get a nice, good quality show dog that can do all of this stuff and you just going to pay $1,000 for the dog. That's unrealistic. So there's a saying that we have in the breeding community, and it says, you get what you pay for. Okay? Now, are there certain kennels that are producing nice dogs that can afford to sell the dogs under the local, state, national, or international market value? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me give you an example. I mentioned TK Bad Boy and Cleo, that litter that we produced, sold some puppies that have did well. If you take that same litter and you drop that litter in Los Angeles, California, those same puppies that I sold for $2,500, which is what that's the highest that I sell. My puppies run from 15 to 25. Okay. And if I take that same litter and drop it in Los Angeles, California with some of my friends who breed out there, those puppies, same puppies, will go for $5,000. Twice the amount that they could sell for in Arkansas. That's like that because the space that's in California that you have to breed with, and they have so many restrictions as it relates to professional breeding. Okay. Recently they implemented some restrictions in Texas. Now in Texas you can only have five breeding females. I'm in Arkansas, I can have 25. It's not an issue. So that means that I can afford to sell $5,000 puppy for $2,500. It's not going to hurt me. Okay? Because of where I'm at, because I don't have all those breeding restrictions, I can afford to do that. And you're going to get a puppy that has titles in the pedigree, genetic health checks, excellent pedigree, where you can go through there and see that these dogs throughout the pedigree have all of this stuff, in addition to other things that we provide. Okay? So you want to think about pricing in terms of what the market is, and you don't want to get over on the person that's selling the puppy, and you don't want the person that's selling the puppy to get over on you. So when we talk about that, and some of the problems that people are running into, they're buying dogs without contracts. There's no contract, there's no guarantee. They paying a deposit to secure the puppy, they going and they're paying the rest of the money, they're getting the puppy, and they leave it, and there's nothing in writing. Here at My Zen Canine Kennel, we don't do that. We're professionals. You're going to be provided with a contract that has terms in it. In that contract, there are things that protect me as a breeder. I also have obligations. There's certain things that I'm supposed to do for you and that puppy. On the other end of the spectrum, there are certain things that you should expect. There's certain things that you should do before you get your puppy. And also, when you take your puppy home. Those things are outlined in the contract, and they're signed off on before you pay any money and before you take that puppy away from here. I want to make sure that I did right by you as a breeder, and I want to make sure that you're doing right by the dog. Okay? So what are the terms in the contract? You know, are you just buying a dog and after you buy the dog, that's the end of it? Or is there, you know, do you have some type of protection or some type of guarantee with the puppy that you bought? All of these things are things you start out looking at before you pay one dime on a puppy. I know that we want to rush and get a puppy. We see people online and they got these puppies and they holding them up, and at 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, puppy look good. But that puppy going to go through some developmental stages. Okay. If you don't have any health checks in that pedigree, that dog might have some recessive genetic health issues. How are you going to make sure that you don't have these genetic health issues in your puppy? Let me give you one example as I close, because I want to land this plane. But if you take, for instance, the Rottweiler can carry a genetic strain of what we call JLPP. And just to make it real simple, that is juvenile neuropathy. That's what it is. The ARC of the American Rottweiler Club recommends that at least one of the parents, either the father or the mother, has been tested and cleared and does not have that strain. If you are just breeding dogs and you don't do any health tests, and you breed a male and a female that have that genetic defect in terms of that strain, if you breed both of them together, you will sell a puppy. That puppy be nice, be pretty, running around, looking good, doing all the stuff, and that person will be satisfied. And then at about 3, 4, 5, or 6 months, that puppy will become paralyzed because the mother and the father had that strain. There was no testing. And now you got a lame puppy that has a poor quality of life and that probably will not live to be a year old. So health testing is important. What you're health testing for depends on what the breed is. There are certain breeds, and I was sad to find this out, there are certain breeds that popular breeders who are making a lot of money do not do any health tests on. With the Rottweiler, what we focus on primarily, JLPP, at least one of the parents have been tested and cleared, hips and elbows. That's the basics. Okay? If you want to get sophisticated and you want to go further to make sure that you're just absolutely at the top of the tier, then you do your eye exam. Okay? You go and you do, which one is this? Your JLPP, of course, we already talked about that. But then you do your echo heart, where you test the heart to make sure that the heart is good. There are other things that we test for with the Rottweiler. The Rottweilers that have the long hair, that long, real wavy hair, that's a defect. We don't want that. So we test for that and make sure that they don't carry the long hair strain. All of these tests cost money, which in turn raises the value of the puppy, because you're getting a higher quality of puppy. You should be expected to pay just a little bit more. If you're getting a puppy that don't have any health tests, they don't have any titles in the pedigree, and just a regular generic puppy, you shouldn't be expected to pay a whole lot of money. But if you want the best, you got to be willing to pay for it. Okay? So all of this information, we're going to go over some more of that tomorrow. And then we'll go into our second part of our 5-part series, where we're going to talk about some additional stuff that you need to be mindful of if you're going to buy a puppy. This is important. We will go in our booklet that we're putting together, our ebook. We're going to go into further details on all of these. We're going to give you examples and all that. It will be a great read that you'll be able to take, Get that book, and we're gonna make it so that you can read it in 1 week. If you read, it's gonna be no more than 25 pages long. So if you read 5 pages a day, Monday through Friday, you will complete the book, and it will increase your knowledge on how to buy a puppy successfully. Thank you all for listening. Make sure that you follow us. Hit that follow button. Also, go over to YouTube. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers, so we'll be able to go live on YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go to My Zen Canine Kennel. Hit that subscribe button so that you'll get the notifications as we upload. We're going to be uploading on YouTube going into 2025. Every week, we're going to drop at least 2 videos on YouTube. Okay, that's going to allow you to, I know a lot of people don't have time to read a bunch of stuff. We're reading, we're doing the research, we're doing the testing, we're doing everything we need. And if you don't feel like reading, we're going to come and give it to you live. So tune in and tap in. Peace.